Let's begin with what new media is. It's not exactly new, but instead an evolution of pre-existing media. Jessica Pressman explains new media as: beware, social media is a form of new media, but not all new media are social media. I interviewed 3 UA college seniors and asked them a series of questions, one being to describe their media consumption in high school.
My name is Sierra Burke. I'm 21 and I'm majoring in broadcast journalism. In high school, I would say I was on my phone a lot. I went on, the most common things would probably be Facebook and Instagram. Like, it increased a lot more when I was a junior, senior in high school because we had like 3 social media sites instead of like just 2. I got on Facebook more because going into a sorority, a lot of Greek organizations look at that when you're rushing. I'd cheer after school, but I would get home, do the scrolling, and then, I'd probably stay up until 1 a.m. on my phone, texting people.
My name is Sienna Leone, and I'm a senior here at the University of Arizona, and I'm a journalism major, and yes, I am part of Alpha Phi on campus. In high school, I went to a boarding school, actually, and we'd have study hours where it cut off our social media, Facebook would be blocked on our computers, our phones would be turned into a professor between a couple hours. So I think in high school I wasn't really as addicted to social media because I had from grades 9 to 12 I was taught by my teachers and house mom at my boarding school that you can't be on social media all the time. So I kind of now I'm way more addicted to it because I don't have someone kind of stopping me.
In the article Limiting Your Child's Fire Time by Klein, she explains the importance of taking new media in moderation, similar to how Sienna's boarding school limited her usage.
My name is Lauren Walker. I am a broadcast journalism major at the University of Arizona, and I'm also a senior.
Okay.
I work at Arizona Football currently, just as a recruiting personnel intern and also as a social media content assistant. Definitely more so on Twitter than I am now, and definitely Instagram, and then I think I stopped using Facebook around 9th grade.
Marvin explains how new media is constantly changing to something newer. As Lauren explained how she stopped using Facebook after a while, she moved on to something newer.
Everything's mobile now, so I pick up my phone, literally go to it at the touch of a button, so probably anytime I wasn't studying or practicing or sleep, I was connected to social media.
Lauren explains how she's always on, similar to Boyd's explanation. How did your social media consumption evolve when you came to college?
College, I would say it increased even more. A lot of girls like to post photos here at U of A, including myself, so I would say it increased a lot more. My Instagram was not as good in high school. And then I think Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook, I still use those.
College, I use Instagram as my number 1. I'm addicted. Snapchat to Facebook, Twitter. I think, honestly, right now I'm just so addicted to social media. I think it's just our generation and also, what I'm doing in college.
Boyd explains how society is addicted to new media, just how Sienna feels addicted to social media, a form of new media.
I do use social media for my job, kind of not to market the school. I know sometimes we get recruits that follow, family members that might follow me and some of my other interns, so we kind of have to make sure that we keep the school in a good light, and I'm posting things that'll make them want to come.
Rushkoff's quote is similar to how Lauren markets the UA on social media to make students want to come. The UA uses interns, faculty, and sports to market the university as a product to incoming students.
Now I'm mostly just on Instagram and Snapchat. And then I go on Twitter at night just to get me sleepy and head to bed.
Upon graduation, how do you think your social media consumption will change? Will you use it more or less? And what platforms?
It's not school, you're not going to be texting at your work, so probably my media consumption will, the times I'm on my phone will probably lessen a lot. It'd probably be 5 p.m. to 1 a.m., instead of all day. I use LinkedIn a lot more now, I don't know if that counts, and Facebook probably more often to keep up with where my friends are at, but number 1 would be Instagram.
Primmore's quote represents how LinkedIn, a social media platform for professionals, uses the online world to connect people to jobs, which is different from the traditional means of job hunting, similar to what Sierra is doing to find a job after college.
I want to go into the entertainment industry, so I think I'm going to be pretty active on Instagram, Twitter, and that kind of stuff. So I think I'll still be active, but it's going to be changing. More amateur, as I don't care what I'm posting. I'm oh, whatever. But definitely I'm now starting to think it's I need to think for the future. I need to be more serious. I need to remember to think before I post.
Purpose would definitely change. It would be more to market myself and just, after college, life is just different in general, so it won't be the same concept of posts, different content in my posts, things like that. I'll definitely stick to Instagram and probably outgrow Snapchat because it's a little personal for moving on into a corporate world, but definitely stick with Instagram and maybe branch back to Facebook.
New media is like a fashion trend. Ways of consuming media goes in and out of style, but it always refashions itself to meet new ways of media consumption as technology advances. This is the role social media plays as a form of new media. It evolves the way we communicate with friends, family, and even coworkers, allowing us to interact. People become more and more consumed in the technology because it allows us to feel closer to those we're away from and keep us always on and open to receiving more information. Switching platforms or applications is just a part of the trend. Either way, we're finding new ways to receive info, which is actually the same old process. New media just keeps evolving.